Accept. Yay!
Oh, that happened.
Hello.
Hiya.
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
No, I had my microphone plugged in and then realised if I had that plugged in, it cuts out the sound and I can't hear you.
I was on silent. I thought, what?
And then I sent a request and you saying, I'm just waiting for Gina to join. I thought, well, I can't do anything.
I didn't know where it was. Well, I saw it. And anyway, we're here.
I've got people who are joining and the writing's over my face.
Oh, right. Okay, I can see you. I can see you.
That's right. I don't care.
There you go. Taking a screen later. No, this is yes, this is something.
Yeah. Hello to everyone who's joining. Gosh, there's lots of people joining. That's fun. Hey, we thought we'd be Billy No Mates.
Because obviously, you know, people have things to do, don't they?
Yeah, in the middle of the day. Not like us.
Exactly. People who've got a life. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about? Now we're here.
I don't know. The idea was to talk about questions, but we've not really had any, have we? Just one or two.
Yeah, I've had one. Have you had one?
No.
No.
That's one.
Okay. So we could talk about that actually, because that sort of raised an interesting point.
It did.
Yeah, but I mean, we are doing
Should
this
we say who
today.
we are and what we're doing first?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So I'm Izzy. I'm Izzy Moore, and I am a machine embroidery artist person. This is my studio. Luckily, you can't really see it because I am in the way. I'm a and so occasionally I make things and I sell them. And recently I've been doing a lot of online teaching ever since last year, and it all went I put things online, which seems to be going well. And this is my good friend Gina, and I started a podcast with Gina this time last year. So that's me.
Right. Me? Well, I'm Gina Ferrari. I've been a artist and tutor for over 20 years, specialising in machine embroidery as well. But since the beginning of lockdown, doing a lot more painting and trying to integrate that with my other work. Like I say, about a year or so ago, I'm not in my studio, I'm in my kitchen because I don't get internet in my studio. So I thought perhaps I should have art hanging behind me, but then it meant putting hooks in the walls and I couldn't be bothered to work it out.
That's a common thread, actually. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, what was I saying? Can't remember. Podcast. It was a crazy idea. I think I sent a message to Izzy about 18 months ago saying, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? And she came back and said, yeah. And as it happens, she's been thinking exactly the same thing. And we're thinking about doing it.
Wasn't from my end, it was a little bit different. I think we were having breakfast and I saw your message and I said, oh, Gina says, let's do a podcast. And I laughed and my husband said, do it. And I thought, actually,
yes.
I had anyway. So I said, yeah, okay.
Yeah. The yes came back pretty quick.
Yeah. And so here we are. And I didn't think that we would have anything to talk about after about a month or so. But you said, yeah, it'd be all right.
And here we are still talking. A year
later. Still talking to each other as well.
Oh, this is really nice. Seeing lots of people joining in. Hello, everybody. Yes. This is so exciting.
It is really exciting. And oh, hello. Oh, if you hold down, you can scroll up and down. Rachel says, how lovely to see you both in real life. Your videos are brilliant and I love your podcasts. Yay!
Oh, thank you. Hey. Oh,
lovely.
Hello, Kirsty. My daughter's joined.
Oh,
hi, Kirsty. Dear.
And I had another nice comment. I printed it out because I knew I wouldn't be able to remember it, from someone saying, you know, how they enjoyed it. I could go and get it. Actually, it's on the printer.
Don't leave me on my own.
No, I'll stay. So we said, you know, if you've got any questions or any comments for us, then we're happy to answer. I was expecting we might get a question sort of like, what sort of thread do you like to use? You know, something easy. or whatever. Oh, Jane says, look forward to your podcast every week and enjoy your down-to-earth chat on all things creative.
Oh, thank you, Jane.
And Mel says, loving you, a real inspiration. Keep it up.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Can I say, this is just such a real boost to see people saying this and coming live, because yesterday we put out a message to say, oh, we're going to do this live, and we didn't get much response at all. It's like, we're going to be
tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant.
So I thought we might get a few comments, but we didn't really. But we did get one question that was actually quite a meaty one, really. Yeah, from Estelle. So I will just mention it, but I think actually what she was talking about would make a really good episode for the podcast.
Yeah, I think it will, but I do have a quick answer as well.
All right, okay. I have quite a quick answer too. So very quickly, so Elle said, how about talking about the way different media intertwine and mix and the common points and differences? So how is it they mix so well, sometimes being so different? What can they bring to one another? And I said, you know, what do you mean? Do you mean like paper, fabric, thread, paint? And she said, yeah, you know, the way different, very unusual or different materials work together. Because last year she did one of my courses and she added a stone, it's like a piece of granite, to the piece of work she did. And she said it's quite tricky, which, you know, I would agree. So what's your, so I think we will make this into an episode. I think it would be a good one. But what's your quick answer to her?
My quick answer, because I say it to students, fine putting different things onto your embroidery, but don't make it look plonked on. It has to integrate, and you can combine almost any media you like, but they must be integrated and it must make sense. Don't put it on for the sake of it. One of my pet hates, and you know it works brilliantly sometimes, is the seascape with somebody who's glued a couple of shells on because they happen to pick them up on the beach. And you know, it can work.
Hey, because I got my seascape course.
Yeah, I know it can work. It can work, but it has to be done sensitively and with a thought to how it all integrates. So don't plonk it on is my bit of advice.
I've written two things, so I've got a quick thing. So similar thing. I've said avoid gimmicky and looking stuck on. Yeah. You know, just using something for the sake of using it.
Exactly.
Or because it's a new thing or whatever, or a new craze. I really don't like sort of gimmicky things just for the sake of it. So I would say it has to perform a function.
Yep.
So it can either be practical or aesthetic, or maybe the two together. So a classic example, I use a lot of paper, and I like using paper because it makes my embroidery firmer, flatter and easier to stitch. So I don't have to use a hoop, because I hate
to use a hoop.
Yeah, I hate a hoop. So it works, it has a practical function, but it's also the aesthetic, because then you get little bits of text going through and images and what have you.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, so I'd say avoid gimmicks, stuck on, and it has to perform a function. So it could be, you know, you want to add a shell or whatever. I'm not saying don't add shells, but it has to be part of the composition. Yeah, part of the composition, perform some sort of design function. Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
but I think
the message. Artie Sam says happy birthday.
Yay! I'm thinking actually, just before we started this, I don't know about you, you might have had a different experience. When I was little, I used to find birthday parties really quite uncomfortable. The idea of having people, having little friends come into like my space, coming to my house, and then what am I going to do? You know, what games are we going to play? I used to find it quite difficult. And just before we started doing this, I almost had the same feelings. Sort of, oh, this is supposed to be a party, but I feel too scared.
See, I love a party.
I'm feeling better now we're doing this. So, what else did we want to say? So we've talked about what we do.
I don't know. You wrote a list, Izzy.
Of course course I wrote a list.
Izzy wrote a list and went into great depth, and I was saying, yeah, I'll think about it. This was an hour ago. Yeah, I promise I'll have a look at that just before we start. This is our different approach, isn't it?
I did say don't panic.
I didn't.
I know, I said that. I said don't panic. Fine, it's evasive. No, basically, because I think because we sent out those posts saying, you know, send questions or whatever, and then we didn't really get a massive response. We got a few nice comments. People sort of, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
be there. And I had one comment from someone who I'm sure has commented on my things before and follows me. And she said, oh, I didn't know you did a podcast.
That's
And
incredible, yeah.
Julia. And I thought, oh, okay, that's good to know. So I think, yeah, there's this sort of assumption, you know, you know, get yourself all psyched up, you're going to do this thing, and you think, oh, the whole world is looking. No, they're not.
Yeah, we've spoken about this before. Now it's a big deal to us, and you'll say, should I do this, should I do that? And I say, actually, it doesn't matter, because 10 minutes later nobody else is going to remember.
So in terms of, you know, like you're talking about your own thing, we've talked about this as well, haven't we? Blowing your own trumpet, talking about what you're doing. Sure. It feels really uncomfortable. So, you know, we don't want to be banging on about stuff all the time and promoting things, because, you know, also that's boring if people do say boring just to get that all the time. But at the same time, there are those people who say, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened with courses. I'll sort of promote a course, and, you know, I'm always uncomfortable about constantly saying, right, I've got a course out, come and join my course, this, that, and the other. And it doesn't matter how many times you say it, the moment you close that course, you get somebody say, oh, I really wanted to join that. I didn't know you were doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do you do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what the answer is.
No, I mean, I think we have got we've got 25 people watching, 26 people. Oh. So this,
I can see now. I can see it up in the corner. I didn't know where you found that number.
Look at that. So, you know, obviously people, you know, people do listen. We know from the numbers that people do listen to our podcast. And so I think what happens sometimes is people see us post about it and they go, oh, I'll listen to that later or whatever. And so they don't say anything, or they don't whatever. And so then I think it comes down to Instagram and this awful algorithm thing, which I don't understand.
No, I don't either.
No, but I think basically if people don't interact, so if we put up a piece of art or embroidery, people will go, oh, that's lovely, or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Podcast, people aren't necessarily going to interact, so then it doesn't get shared, so then people don't know about it.
I guess so. Yeah. Talking of interacting, I'm just going to say hello to Faye, because she said hello.
Yeah. I saw Faye. Hello. So shall we have just a really quick chat about the podcast? Oh, Sue Morgan, it's so lovely to see you while you're talking. If you were to limit yourself to 5 things to be stuck on a desert island, what would they be?
Oh gosh. Wow.
That's an excellent question. Is that something we're going to talk about next podcast episode?
When we talk about more Christmassy gift things next time we're going to talk about, aren't we? Things we might like or that we've already bought ourselves. But stuff on the island's a good one, because there wouldn't be power, would there? So we couldn't have our sewing machines.
No, good pair of scissors.
Yeah, good pair of scissors. That's a good one. Have I got to come up with one now?
Yeah, go on then.
I'd want my paper and paints, but that's not textile related, is it?
It could be. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I would like. You don't even need a pencil and paper, actually, could you? Because you could draw in the sand with a stick.
No, I don't like sand.
Hopeless on an island, you wouldn't be.
I know, I couldn't walk on the sand. Hate it on my feet.
If you sat on your stuck to be rescued.
Oh dear.
Pair of scissors, needle and thread.
Yeah, definitely need needle and thread.
Stitch leaves together, make a blanket. A pair of scissors. What else? I'd like my glasses, actually, or contact lenses, but that would be tricky with the sand. I think I'd need my glasses.
Oh, well. Mine don't come off, so.
And yeah, what else?
I think it's quite simple, because paper and pencils or paints, perhaps some fabrics, and thread. But I
Yeah.
think this shows that all the gimmicky stuff that we have in our studios are just all a bit added extras, really, aren't they? I'm not saying anything, is he? You know, it might be nice to have a pot of beads and sparkles.
Yeah, maybe, but you could find those shells, couldn't you?
We could, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does that answer that question, do we think?
Yeah.
Have I
Yeah.
stitched, have we stitched
Leave.
these before? Yes, I have.
Have you?
Now, I've got a really interesting story about this one.
On it.
Years ago, I started, when the degree that I was doing didn't happen, and I was enrolled on an MA course, and I was investigating stitching. Everything was about leaves, and I was stitching leaves together and cutting into them and doing all sorts of things. Interestingly, all sorts of things that you see people like Alice Fox doing now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in a good place family wise, and we had to do this presentation to our peer group about what we were doing, and somebody in that group actually just said to me, "What's the point of doing that?" And it crushed me totally. And in fact, it was part of everything going on, and I actually got my money back and thought, I don't need an MA. And now I look at all the people that work with natural materials and stitching leaves. I thought, oh, I've still got a sketchbook full of it somewhere.
Missed a trick there, Gina.
Yeah, well, hey ho. Story of my life.
I
Not bothered.
wave back to everybody, but it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
I've never stitched on leaves before. I've collected twigs, and I was doing quite a lot of stitching twigs and things on things when I was doing lots of work in circles.
Right.
I collected young twigs when they were still quite flexible.
Oh, when they're bendy, yeah.
Bent them round and tied them in a loop, tied them in a circle, and then left them to dry like that.
Yeah.
And then after a while, a few years maybe.
I'm going to dig out my sketchbook with my leaves, and I'll put some pictures perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah. Yeah. So we were going to just chat really quickly about the podcast. So in case people don't know, so Gina and we do a podcast called Izzy and Gina In Stitches, because it
informal conversation.
Yeah, informal conversation.
Life in general and art and embroidery in particular. So yeah, I know it off by heart now.
Yeah, I don't. I need paper. I need pieces of paper with things written down. So yeah, sort of nominally about stitching, but it's mostly about lots of other things. And we have a bit of a giggle, which is why we're in stitches.
Yeah, so, we have quite a lot of a giggle, don't we, really?
We do. So it's very light-hearted and friendly chat. And I think we sort of rub along all right, even though we are similar in some ways and very different in others. And the differences are what makes it interesting, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Our personalities are quite different in many ways.
Yeah. 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 And so we just sort of chat about various things that might be of interest, sort of living a creative life. And sometimes we've interviewed people, and we want to interview a few more people because that's fun. But mostly it's just having a bit of a chat about, you know, running a creative business, and hopefully interesting and never dull.
We hope so. We hope so.
Oh,
greetings from India. Wow. Hello.
Yes, love your teaching styles and everything I'm learning. Yes, Shruti. Yes, I think she's on my baubles course.
Fantastic.
So, teaching styles as well, actually, just as another introduction to us, what would you say your teaching style was? Just sort of throwing that out there.
Thank you for throwing that at me. I don't know. I think.
Well, you think, I would say that I would say we're both quite relaxed.
Yeah, very relaxed and very I think I'm patient, a very patient teacher. Yeah. And hopefully willing to answer questions and solve problems for people. And I think my approach is to encourage people to think for themselves and do things for themselves, because I don't like going on a course where I'm said, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, and there's no flexibility. I love this open-ended side approach as well.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I've just seen a lovely comment saying, I've gone from not being much interested in podcasts to looking forward to yours. It feels like being taught by friends on your online courses. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's lovely.
That means everything to us. It really does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my approach is, I would like people to have fun, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
And
fact,
become
that's my
friends.
tagline on a lot of my courses. When I describe the courses and it's about having fun, I always finish that, because if you're coming on a course or you're doing a course online and you're stressed about it, what is the point? Yeah,
No.
sure,
Yeah.
we've got to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone just said, what's the name of the podcast? It's called Izzy and Gina in Stitches. And yes, we are on Spotify. It sound like course teacher cousins in our classes. That's funny. Yeah. So I think I want people to have fun, and I want them to enjoy their sewing machines. I find it really sad when someone says, oh, I'm too scared to do that, or whatever. And I think, oh, just, give it a go. You might like it. And sometimes things are tricky to start with, and different machines, some have their quirks or whatever, but really it's just a machine. And it doesn't really have a mind of its own, and it just comes down to time, really. And so I just want people to just sort of relax and have fun and make something beautiful,
Indeed. We're getting lots of lovely comments. Lovely.
That's really good.
Esther Louise, I enjoy the podcast. Textile Lady, lovely. Chrissy Threads, I'm not great with remembering podcasts, but she's mentioned it to others. It's great. Thank you. That's lovely.
Rachel's left a lovely comment. Have you seen that one? Done lots of online courses.
They're kind of scrolling up, so I can't see them all.
A lot of online courses in the last year, and yours are the best. Enjoy it. Great to have something textile related. Both of you also paint. How does this inform or interact with your textile practice? Oh, that's a funny question, because the word practice makes me go
and informing my art. That's another one that makes me sound a bit grown up, doesn't it?
It does sound a bit grown up, and at the root of it all, I don't feel like a grown up, and I don't feel, if I think about having a practice, I come over all sort of hot and cold, because I think, well, I don't know if I have a practice, because that means that I should be practicing. And quite often
but we do.
Yeah,
you're hard on yourself.
Yeah, but quite often it feels like I'm spending a lot of time just sort of faffing about. Maybe faffing about is part of my practice. Could I claim that? Yeah. Okay.
I think when we come to do our New Year episode, I've had thoughts on this and on my practice. But but painting.
But going back to, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, painting informing practice. I mean, I'm combining paint and stitch now, so there's a very obvious connection. But what it's highlighted for me this year is it's that love of colour is there.
Yeah.
In the fabrics, in the stitch, in the paint. It doesn't matter which. There's that overlap, and it's all about the colour. I think that's my take on that. Yeah.
So I mean, for me, partly I was drawn to paint, to be quite honest, because I thought, well, if I want to sell work, I'm more likely to sell something if it's paint, not stitch, which is a really, really, I think I was feeling quite stressed, but that was a few years ago, actually. And over the past year, since I've been doing more stitch, I've sort of fallen back in love with stitch. But I have been doing a lot of the painting as well. And for me, like, the holy grail was trying to find a way of combining the two.
Yeah.
Because I love that immediacy with paint. You just squirt it out of a tube and boom, it's there. Whereas with fabric, I have to pull things out of drawers, I have to find threads, you have to stitch or whatever. It takes longer. But I think working with the paint, and now I have found a way that I can incorporate my fabrics and my stitch with it as well, which I'm excited about and I want to get back to. It has lost my train of thought.
While you're losing your train of thought, I'm going to say hi to Susan, who's in Houston, Texas.
Oh, brilliant. No, what was I going to say? Yes, it's highlighted for me as well, that love of colour.
Yeah.
That learning how to mix color has been huge for me with the paint. So you don't need much paint, you don't need many colors. Although that's not an excuse, because I've got a lot, because I like it, and I've got lots of colored fabrics as well. So yeah, it's the color. And also for me, it's the paper, because I do like stitching on paper. So the fact that I can now paint the paper and stitch on it is just really exciting.
Which is what I've been doing all year. Painting paper and cutting it up and stitching it down.
Not great with remembering podcasts, but I have mentioned it to others. This Insta is great. I can't write the name of the podcast just yet, because
somebody did actually. Somebody.
Oh yes, underneath. Yeah, Izzy and
comment.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. That's superb. So the podcast, yeah, it's very relaxed. It's very, very casual. We talk about textiles, but we also talk about what's been inspiring us.
We talk a lot about food.
Talk about food, quite a bit about telly. Not so much.
We don't watch telly, do we? Not much, apparently.
Hardly. I have my sort of favourites at the moment. We've been watching Call My Agent. That's been our favourite at the moment.
Haven't heard of that one. Oh, I have heard of it, I think. Yeah, but never seen it.
That's a French one on Netflix. It's really funny.
Right.
And then we talk about, we try and have something. I always get it wrong, don't I? Diversions and discoveries.
You got it right. Because you did say distractions, didn't you? Last time.
Because they are distractions. So things that have inspired, things that we found, but a lot of it is food. And might there be a course on mixing stitching paper and fabric at some point? She had one on painted paper, but not with fabric.
I had one just papers, no fabrics combined, but that might be something that I'm kind of working on. So watch this space. Yeah.
And for me, I've got plans. I want to do a free motion course first. No, that's wrong. Second.
Do you know what you're doing?
I've
got somebody from Florida. Hello.
No, I'm doing this first. So these are fabrics for making my baubles, my beautiful baubles.
Very nice, very pretty.
Yeah, and I had an idea to do a course on what else you can do with that, because it's an idea.
Can I just interrupt because of this? It says please keep repeating name because Stitches search doesn't work well at all.
Saw that. Izzy and Gina in Stitches.
Yep.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. So
things,
so I'm doing that at the moment. I want to finish that because that's an extra for the baubles course, and then hopefully that will be a standalone course another time. And then I'll get onto my free motion course, which I have mentioned a long time ago. I keep saying I'm going to do, and that will involve a lot of stitching on paper because it's what I do. Yeah. Not necessarily paper, though. I hadn't thought of that because I've got other ideas as well.
Is this the right time to say I have got courses live at the moment, ready for enrolment? I've got a free one, which you can find if you go onto my profile and bio and things like that. And I've also got 3 kind of introductory ones to free machine embroidery, free motion embroidery, but you can buy them as a bundle. Yeah.
And it's really good value.
Yeah. So those are live. And then I've got one coming out probably, if I get my act together, on Klimt. Being inspired by Klimt.
Yeah, I'm really tempted by that as well. Yeah, so my baubles course is open until Christmas, and I've got a free one on making a stitch book, and all the links are in my bio, so you can find those. So baubles will be open until just before Christmas to enroll, and then you can have till February, because I think by then you would have made all your Christmas baubles.
But a bauble is not just for Christmas.
A bauble is not necessarily just for Christmas. No. I have been known to wear them as earrings.
Lovely.
So, I don't know if we need to talk about anything else right now. Do you?
Probably not. No. I'm looking at your list.
Not on my list. Have I missed anything off?
No, don't think you have. No.
I don't. Yeah.
No, that's it. No, you haven't. We've covered it all. We've covered it all.
We
Oh,
covered it all.
Pam. I've just seen Pam. She's somebody I know and used to knit with.
And oh, Mags. Yes, Maggie. Yes, I know Maggie as well. Maggie. Oh, Maggie. I haven't seen Maggie for a long time. She came to a course I was teaching in person. We were doing winter landscapes. So all very white, grey, silver, very calm, very wintry, snowy. And Maggie said, is it all right if I did a different colourway? So I said, yeah, fine, you know, do whatever you like. And she did this glorious pink and orange.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I love that.
My sort of person.
I love that. I love it when people take an idea and then they make it their own.
They do their own thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we'll do this again, yeah? What do you think? Oh, Maggie, don't apologise. Maggie, no, it's brilliant.
No, Maggie, you're my sort of person.
You're spot on. Absolutely spot on.
I'm the person in class who does my own thing.
Me too. Oh, the idea of being told, no, you have to do it this way, and
yeah, sure.
No. Can I just say though, we do know what we're doing. This is another one of my people as well. So what was I going to say? I keep losing track. Yes, no, we do know what we're doing when it comes to things like machine embroidery and using our sewing machines. So can I just say that, you know, when we say, oh, anything goes, we are also sort of pretty hot on teaching you the machine embroidery. We're not totally casual and sort of lackadaisical, but we are very relaxed as well. Right, Catkin person. My sort of person.
See your baubles.
No, she wants to see the fabric. She popped out.
Fabric. Fabric she made again.
Yeah, she chopped this. Yeah, it's birthday cake. Anyway, so I made that. That's a that one. I like that one best.
Yeah, I like that one. Like the colour.
That one, I really didn't know what I was doing with that one. And that one, that's quite a popular colour as well. So I've done a 4, but I have now thought of a 5th because all the. Why do things in a simple way? Why, you know, there are options. Options. I want to show all the options. So there's at least another one I could show, but I'll do those 4. And I have done some videoing today.
Well, that's more than I have. I've been and set up the Christmas tree this morning in the neighbouring village's church is having a Christmas tree festival, and I'm part of a drama group, and so we've done our drama group Christmas tree. Right. So I'll get a picture of it in my stories now.
So did you make decorations that are drama group themed?
We have done that in the past, but we've kind of dressed the tree as a pantomime dame. It's brilliant. So I'll put a picture on my stories. And on Saturday, a little group of us are going to be appearing live in the church, dressed as pantomime characters, and we have a little song we're going to be singing.
Of course you are.
Don't ask what I'm going to be.
No?
We can. There was talk of being the back end of a pantomime horse, which probably would have been good. But because we are also old in our drama group and we don't have young people, I am going to be an incredibly elderly principal boy.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
we have to see pictures of that.
No, someone will.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so people are joining. This is lovely.
Oh, Christmas cake. Well done.
Yeah, I've bought the ingredients, but I haven't done yet. That's on another somewhere. So I need to work out how to save this. I need to work out how to stop this. I don't
know. I just joined you. I've got a little cross up in the corner, so that probably doesn't it?
I think that might be a clue. Right, and then yes. So this is our birthday party. I haven't got any cake. Have you got cake?
No. Well, that was bad, wasn't it? I did have a cup of tea, but it's gone cold now.
I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. I'm going to go and get a crumpet. Quick question from Sue. I think it was Sue who said that she really enjoyed listening earlier. She says, do you have any tips
Oh,
getting your stash?
Sue, that's funny. That's a joke.
Yes, I've got a brand new wheeze, which I haven't put into action yet, but when I do, and if I do, and if it works, I'll tell you. But I've had a really good idea.
Yeah, it's when you think you're going to use up a whole load of fabrics from your stash. You think, yeah, great project, and then you realise you're missing something, so you have to go out and buy more, don't you? We have done a whole podcast episode about stuff, haven't we?
We have, but yeah, I think it can definitely be worth a revisit. Louise, yes, we'll definitely. I'll try and save it. I just need to work out what on earth I'm doing, and
Brilliant.
yeah, okay, and we will do this again because
It has been fun, and it worked. It wasn't as scary as we thought.
It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who's joined
Right,
us.
thank you. It has been huge fun. So we will see you another time. And there is a new episode out today. Izzy Gina In Stitches. You find it on iTunes, Spotify, all of that.
Yeah.
And links are in our bios as well on here. So yeah, brilliant.
So listen to the podcast.
Oh, say hello to Ingrid. Hello,
Ingrid.
Not my Ingrid, another Ingrid.
Right.
Germany. Okay. All righty.
Okay.
Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.